Hi, this is Shumi from OVERDRIVE, and that, yes, is the Benelli TRE1130K Amazonas, which is officially called the Trek Amazonas 1130. What you have here is the same 1131cc engine that powers the TNT 1130. It makes about 126 PS on this motorcycle, and as you can see, what they've done is they've taken that very interesting, sorry, that was my finger, that trellis frame, that very complicated looking pivot plate, but the whole bike sits actually a lot higher. It's sitting on taller suspension, and that's supposed to give you the idea of an adventure tourer. And we'll talk about whether that works or not, but let me give you a detail on the bits first. So the headlamp is very familiar. The TNTs all have this insect-like headlamp. I'm quite a fan. I actually quite like that a lot. Front suspension fully adjustable, so that's the rebound adjuster. Down here, that red screw that you can see, that's the compression adjuster. It is supposed to be an off-road capable motorcycle, therefore you have 19-inch front tires wearing Metzeler Tourances, which are wide block pattern tires. They work pretty well on the street, and they should be reasonably okay on off the road. We tried a little bit today, but we didn't want to drop this 207 kilo machine, so we didn't try too much. Notice there is no slotted carrier on the front rotor, which tells you that this bike does not have ABS. Moving to the back, that's the engine, familiar unit. This particular machine actually has had a bad time since it arrived here in India. It's the only one there is, fell during transport, has been bashed about quite a bit. So today it's not running in its finest fettle. So from 4000 there is a surge, it does make some power, but after that I can't seem to be able to get it to really open up and deliver what 126 PS should feel like. That is not to say it's a slow motorcycle, but today it's having a little bit of a difficult day. Anyway, so off-road pretensions again, let me show you this. So that's the foot peg design. Not a very good idea, because on the street it works fine. Once it's wet and you're off-road, you can barely keep your foot on that peg once you start trying to stand up and ride over bumps. A very familiar looking swing arm again. It's tubular, it's under-braced, it's very nice looking, and that's one of the things that the Benellis are famous for. Italian motorcycles, lots of design details. However, some of the stuff that they've had to do for India, for example, this exhaust is longer than stock. They've had to make this plastic plate, and it moves a little bit, and I'm not sure that does wonders for my impression of this bike's quality. Similarly, look at the detail here. This hugger, it's a very Indian thing to put huggers like this to prevent splatter from going up into the luggage and stuff. Does it look good? No. Does it work? Yes. Would I leave it on the motorcycle? Absolutely not. I'd get rid of it on day one. This is the rear monoshock again. What you have here, that's a preload adjuster, and it's nice to be able to just do that. At the bottom there is a rebound collar, which will be very hard to get to, but it is there. And of course you're not going to be adjusting rebound every 6 minutes, so that's perfectly okay. Here is the other side of the engine. As usual, Benelli engines tend to be quite busy, so there's a lot of wiring in this area, there's a lot of wiring here, and they do sound interesting. They do not sound like Triumphs, which are the other inline triples we are familiar with now. They don't sound like inline fours either. They're more gruff and more rough in sound, not necessarily in vibration, although this particular one has. Finally, what is it supposed to be? It's supposed to be a touring motorcycle, and to that end Benelli have given some features here. So if you see that knob, there's another one on this side. You loosen the two and you can adjust the height of this windscreen. This is at its highest setting right now. It's a little disconcerting because when you're moving, the wind does that to the windscreen. It doesn't cause any turbulence. You're not really fighting the machine, but it looks good. It works well, not look good. It works well. Here, look at the meters. The self-check is a little slow, and I'm not really happy with the way this rev counter needle is moving. It sort of skips and moves in steps, but it works. It shows you what revs there are at. And like Italian motorcycles today, it's a fairly curvy motorcycle. On the road, 4000 RPM is where the surge begins. This particular unit is not able to give me any additional power as the revs rise. Sorry, check out this. This is a very nice handguard that they've got here. Unlike the KTM's one, which are just plastic, these ones have a metal stay inside, so it will actually work. Just watch out for this. I caught my finger in this. The gap between the metal here and the ball on the lever is a little bit close. If your hand slips towards the outside of the lever, you might get pinched now and then. Doesn't happen often, but it does happen now and then. Overall, it feels good. It doesn't turn into corners as a light motorcycle would. It wants a little bit of deliberate effort. Once you make it, it's a very stable motorcycle. It's very confident. These tires on the roads work really well. But honestly, I'm waiting for the final test version to come, which we're going to test, which will be in fine fettle, not running like this particular motorcycle. And then we can actually discuss what the performance of this motorcycle is going to be like. The only thing that remains to be guessed is, what do you think the price of this motorcycle should be? And for that, I'm going to turn to our trusty OVERDRIVE team. Here they are. What do you think this motorcycle is going to cost?
I think it will be close to 13 lakhs.
That's 13 lakhs from Rohit.
Yeah, 12 and a half, 13 I would say.
12 and a half, 13 from Halley.
14 and a half.
14 and a half from Risha. There you have it, from the horse's mouth. That's 3 horses. This is Shumi, and that is the Trek.